Welcome to Sixes Overdrive 45 RPM edition, which means we'll be talking about vinyl and audio, all things audio, instead of talking about motorcycles and pellet smokers today. So, if that's what you're into, let's get it going. Welcome to the channel. I'm Kent, and you're watching Sixes Overdrive 45 RPM edition. Today, I'd like to talk about the reason that I got back into vinyl after all these years. Here are some of the reasons that I got into vinyl, and maybe you too. Maybe you want to get back into vinyl. If you have any comments, you can put them down below. Give me some reasons why you decided to get back into vinyl, or why you're thinking about getting into vinyl. And as always, I'll reply to all of your comments. Now, I'm not saying that I'm a purist for vinyl. Far from it. I have way more CDs than vinyl, and I actually have a Spotify premium account that I preview all my stuff. So don't take me as the be-all end-all expert on this, but I really found myself drawn to vinyl this year, and it's been really fun getting back into it, and I'm going to tell you why. You see, I've been noticing for a while now that the enjoyment of music for me was kind of gone. I'm in a band. I have lots of opportunities. I listen to music all the time, but it's usually just in the background with a streaming service, with one of those little portable Bluetooth speaker kind of things. And I just found I wasn't enjoying my music. I wasn't getting that extra little bit out of it that I used to get when I was younger, when I used to listen to records. The enjoyment of sitting down and actually enjoying what the band had to show me, it was gone. Not only that, but I didn't care about anything that I was listening to. I didn't care about the bands. I didn't even know their names. I just found a catchy song and put it on a playlist. It was all too easy. I used to know just about everything about the bands that I was listening to. I knew how long they struggled to get a record contract. I knew where they were from. I knew if they were, had families outside. I knew the area that they toured. I knew all of that stuff before because you could find it all on liner notes. Now I don't know anything about any of these new bands, and I do still listen to a lot of new music. Probably one of the highest listening times that I do is just driving around in my car, but you're so focused on driving around in your car, you're kind of missing out what you're doing with your music sometimes. So I decided that I needed to get back into that experience where I just set apart time, listened to my music, enjoyed every nuance of it, put it on a nice stereo, and just absolutely enjoy my time with the artist. And that is one of the main reasons that I got back into vinyl. I really needed that enjoyment back in my life. And I guess, going back and just sitting down and enjoying a record the way the artist intended to be, even if I'm streaming it, it's really changed the way I listen to music now. Vinyl is a process. You need to set up time. You need to book apart 30 to 60 minutes of your time to actually listen, to enjoy vinyl. By the time you go through your record collection, filter through it all, kind of decide what genre you want, go through, pick an album, clean it all off so it doesn't pop, hiss, and crack, and then get it down, put the needle on. You've already spent the better part of a song doing this. But I really enjoy getting an album ready to play it. And maybe you could tell me what your favorite part of the record process of getting ready to play your record. What's your favorite process? Comment down below. Once you have it playing, there's no shuffle it up or skipping tracks or anything like that, or going from artist to artist to artist. Odds are you're sitting down, you're not going to want to get up and do all that stuff. It's a pain switching tracks on an album, and it's a pain getting up and down. So you're just going to want to sit down and enjoy the process. But this is good in itself too, because the artist designed the album to go a certain way. He arranged those songs, or they arranged those songs in a particular order, and they meant for the album to build emotion that way. At least any artist worth his weight in gold. And so you're probably wondering, why am I making these antiquated processes Why am I glamorizing them almost? Why am I making them more romanticized than they should be? And it's because, and I've said it over and over on this video already, this process prepares you for a better listening experience. It's one where you tune out the world for an hour and you just listen to the music the way the artist intended you to listen to the music. Another big reason why I switched to vinyl is because vinyl is tangible. You can feel it in your hands. You have a record and it's in your hands. A streaming service, you really have nothing. This is a true piece of history. And don't get me wrong, I stream all the time. I preview records all the time before I buy them. I use my Spotify account regularly. I use it a ton. It is at least 100 times more convenient than a record with all the skipping and shuffling and whatever you want to do. Adding playlists, all that stuff is way, way, way more easy on a streaming service. So don't get me wrong. I'm not slamming streaming services. If that's what you do, that's fine. I'm just encouraging you to do it a little bit different. It's even a bit delicate. Like a piece frozen in time, like a piece out of history, an antique. It's something that records that moment in time, and you have it. You have that piece of history in your hands on your turntable. And it's true that an album's going to cost you more. Collecting vinyl will cost you more than doing a streaming service. But again, you have nothing. An album, it actually increases in value. When you buy an album, you can check out its value on something like Discogs, those services like that, and you'll actually find your album going up and down in price and everything, but it actually has a value that somebody will pay for later. So you're not just throwing your money away, you're having a tangible asset. Even looking for an album is part of the fun of getting into vinyl, because you go into this bin digging or crate digging or whatever you want to call it, and you go through all the albums and you pick them out, and you find some real gems that you think nobody else has had. You check out, you put a list of what you want, you go down to the record store and it's not always there for you. So you have to have a few different records that you want to pick out, and it's really fun. And I've also noticed that a lot of times the records that I buy, they're tied to a piece of history. Like when you broke up with somebody, or, you know, when you got that new job and you ran down to the record store and you decided to get a record to celebrate, you have those memories attached with those items. You know, I hear all the time stories about, I bought this album when this happened to me, or I was going through this and I went out and bought this album and it made me so much happier when I got it home. I played it. I just played it over and over and over again. And that's what records do. Streaming, nobody remembers when they downloaded a song. You just don't get that same nostalgic feeling out of your downloads that you do get when you actually purchase your music. One of the coolest things about albums, even cooler than CDs, CDs have it to a certain extent, but one of the coolest things about albums is the album art. What the artist came up with to represent what he thought his vision of the band was. Like maybe 1 up to 5 maybe different images, inside cover arts, vinyl sleeves, all of those types of things. They put this artwork and this incredible attention to detail that lets you see into their psyche. Album art can be almost as interesting as the album itself. The sleeves many times will have album art, they'll have lyrics, they'll have maybe concert footage of where they're touring and that kind of thing. And maybe it's just art. Maybe they hired out an artist to put one of their famous art pieces in here, or they designed it on their own. And you can sit there and you can read it and look at all the pictures and everything while you're listening to the album. It becomes a whole experience of the artistic intention of the band. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below about what your favorite album art was, your favorite artist and the cover art and everything that spoke to you the most. And then maybe in another video, I can take all of your guys' suggestions and put your names up and show what your favorite album art was. That could be a whole nother episode of Sixes Overdrive 45 RPM edition. Well, that's really all I have to say about my top reasons to choose vinyl. I hope that all of you share, like, comment, and subscribe so you can get more information like this, or just share with me and we can have a great community on this Sixes Overdrive channel. But for now, this is Sixes Overdrive, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye.